Greetings to everyone at home. This is M80, and this message is specifically for independent artists across the globe who may have unreleased works featuring Chino XL. The estate this week has made a couple posts that have caused a lot of frustration amongst Chino's true fans, artists that have worked with Chino in his lifetime, and just really made the hip-hop world at large scratch their heads. These posts were essentially in light of Chino's passing. We are now in control of all music, X, Y, and Z. If you have unreleased music, you must follow a certain protocol. I've made videos speaking on this prior to this week, whereas, Chino left a bunch of unreleased projects that are all essentially owned by third parties, to which, the representative of the estate is not Chino's family. So if you think I'm speaking ill against the family, that is not the case. This is directly a woman named Stacey Castro that is a hired gun. She's in it for a paycheck. She's in it for a percentage of all things Chino in his passing. Any of you who actually knew Chino very well knows that he was not a fan of this woman. She somehow inserted herself into the mix. But this woman has had conversations with the various rights owners, like Body Bag Ben, who previously owned the Darkness and Other Colors album before I acquired it. Stu Bangers, who with Chino XL was working on God's Carpenter 2. Art Geschwind, who owns the rights to the Cannabis and Chino album. Man Bites Dog, who owns the rights to a Chino XL EP that they were nearing completing. And essentially across the board, the Stacey Castro woman has told these people, well, Chino's no longer here, so we now own the material and we don't have to pay you. That's not the law at all. That's the most made up piece of shit I've ever heard. So I'm still expecting that one day there will be a lawsuit filed against me. And at that time, I will act accordingly, because after all the kindness and goodwill nature that I put out for Chino in his lifetime, as far as expenses go, and even in his afterlife with the funeral, if there was ever to be a lawsuit against me, I would literally acquire the rights to all this music and sell the music to the highest bidder. There's no way I would ever come out a dime of my own pocket to fight a lawsuit and spend money knowing that I'm being sued out of spite, or you even speaking to me on Instagram and getting blocked and unfollowed from Chino's page is something that's out of spite. There's no rational reason for why this is happening. Like, imagine being unfollowed from the Chino XL page in his afterlife when he loved you in his lifetime, right? If you want to set up a legacy page, set up a legacy page. But let's not get off the track of what this video is about. I've consulted my attorney on this, and if you are an independent artist, you got to think of what kind of artist Chino XL was. He was an elite amongst the underground. To the people that have sold the estate and Stacey Castro, notions that unreleased Chino XL music is essentially valued at that of a Prince or a Michael Jackson or a DMX. It's not the case. And it doesn't take away from Chino's legacy at all. Chino was an underground elite MC, but let's not, bullshit each other. Chino was a man of the people. He was a blue-collar artist that did things and looked out for people that he cared about and thought were dope MCs throughout the duration of his career. Imagine the hip-hop artist that goes to work and works a 9 to 5 and saved up $750, $1,000, $500, $2,000, whatever it might be, over the course of many months to have a feature with one of his admired artists, Chino XL, only to have this representative of the estate say, sorry, it's ours now. We control it. We don't owe you anything. The law is the law, which Again, not the case. If you obtained a Chino XL feature between March 2021 and through up until his passing at no charge for $0 you can contact me via Instagram, Almighty M80. Hit me in my DMs. If you can provide any kind of receipt, just screenshots, hey, me and Chino talked, he did this, this is when he sent the files, da-da-da-da-da, I will issue you the lawful admin sign-off for that feature. It'll include your use right. It'll include the publishing split for Chino XL, so you can move ahead without fear that your feature that you paid for is no longer your property, that you essentially have to give it up to the estate, that all the money you spent to obtain whatever, or even in the event if Chino loved you and did something on the arm, you will be legally protected. And that is just another reason that I am me, that I work with so many greats that love me, because I'm able to work for the betterment of the artist, for the betterment of hip-hop culture. Yes, I'm not the most liked person in the world. How could I be? I talk shit to someone like that when I spot bullshit in another human being, okay? I stand my ground. I do what's right and what's best, not only for me, but for others and the culture, and that's the perfect example of what's happening right now. So please, by all means, if this applies to you, I will also post this video on YouTube because, again, my Instagram page is kept private, and I know more people are going to want to see this than just those that currently follow me, or that, you know, their friends will tell, hey, you got to see this video M80 posted. Contact me in my DMs. Again, anyone that purchased a Chino XL feature that does not have the admin sign-off. A reason you might not have the admin sign-off is because a lot of you did business with Chino directly, and I don't have a problem with that. My artists that I work with, like Planet Asia and House Kingpin and Crooked Eye and you name it, so many more, even though they have representation, they do the same thing. It's just kind of an accepted practice. So Chino, chances are, wouldn't have had me do the document for you because he'd have to pay me. So if you were just shooting him a DM like, hey man, I got, you know, $500, $750, and he agreed to do your work, chances are he's not going to contact me for me to then get paid to do the admin work that you need. Now, prior to his passing, the only time you actually needed a sign off, unless you're just super on point and know that anything over $500 should be contracted in writing, is if you were an artist on the Spotify artist to watch list. Then the DSPs would require that when you upload your song to an aggregator, that you also provide the sign off. Chino was never on that list. Okay, so anytime you had a Chino XL feature prior to his passing, just upload the song, no problem. So again, if this applies to you, the contents of this video, please contact me, Almighty M80, hit my DM, I'll check all the folders, the inbox, the general, the spam, whatever, and as long as everything checks out, your song is what it's supposed to be, for $0, I will email you the signed off, applicable sign off you need to continue owning your property, to make sure that your art is released to the world and Chino's family will be taken care of on the publishing side, whatever that's to be. And again, you're giving the art to the world, which is clearly what Chino would have wanted. Thank you for tuning in. Take care. God bless.